aquí estamos, en el Above 11, que está en el piso 32, nada más y nada menos.
Sawadee.
Estamos en Above 11, en la torre Fraser Suites, en Bangkok.
Above 11 is a rooftop Peruvian restaurant and bar. It was opened about in 2012, so we're about 4 years old. And the philosophy of Above 11 is really about people coming together and having fun. It's a very social place, and our food and drinks are all about social dining, and we've tried to make it a restaurant that's not necessarily exclusive in terms of the price points, but it's a restaurant that is more affordable than many of the other rooftop bars. And it's really about having a good time. The reason we brought Peruvian food to Thailand, and we're one of the first Peruvian restaurants in Southeast Asia, is because over the last 5 or 6 years, Peruvian food has become one of the biggest food trends in the world. And the most interesting thing about Peruvian food is the country, because Peru is a country that basically has the ocean, it has the Andes Mountains, and then it has the Amazon. So you're talking about a country with enormous cultural diversity in terms of its people, but also in terms of influence. For example, there's about 200 different types of species of corn. I think about 2,000 to 3,000 types of potatoes. They've got more chilies in Peru than we have even in Thailand. So it's an amazing cuisine, and it's basically 500 years of immigration that created Peruvian food from all the immigrants that came to Peru, starting from the indigenous Peruvians, they have the food from the Andean mountains. They have the Peruvian Amazonian food, and then the Creole food that came from the Spanish when the Spanish conquered South America, and we're in Peru. That food is called the Creole food. And then you also have the Japanese Peruvian food, which is what we have largely here, which is called Nikkei. And you also have the Peruvian Chinese food, which is called chifa. So it's basically a combination of all the immigrants. You're talking about African, Spanish, Chinese, Italian, French, Japanese, all these cultures coming together to create Peruvian food. And one of the reasons we brought it to Thailand is I thought that it was a type of food that really mixes well with the cultural diversity of Thailand. When people ask me when I opened this restaurant, they ask me, so what is Peruvian food? And I used to tell them it's the Thai food of South America. And I think it really perfectly talks about what the food is and how it fits into this country. There's notions of spiciness, there's foods that are raw, there are foods that are grilled, and there's so much, there's the things that are spicy, not spicy, so there's something for everyone in Peruvian food, which is why I think it has worked so well for us, and we very, very proudly represent this food. We have a great chef who used to work for Gaston Acurio. He's the most famous chef in Peru, and he's here and is a person responsible for the food concept. So what we have here is starting out with the ceviche. So this is a traditional Peruvian dish. The traditional way of making it is using a very fresh white fish in a juice that they call the leche de tigre. And the leche de tigre is basically made of lime juice, milk, garlic, ginger, chilies, and it's garnished on top with some shallots. And this one is a sort of a not a very traditional one, because we also have shrimps and we have pulpo as well in here. But this is basically the national dish of Peru, ceviche. This is called an anticucho, and in Peru, this is a very commonly eaten dish. You find it on the streets of Lima, and it's made with the heart of the cow. And this is a Peruvian African dish that was brought by the slaves that the